Hey everyone, welcome back to UX Insight with AI. I'm Lena, focusing on UX and design perspectives.
And I'm Alex, looking at things from the technology and systems side. Lena, how have you been? Still buried in research lately?
Yeah, honestly, yes. A lot of thinking about automation and invisible interfaces. And the more I look at them, the more I realize people say they want simplicity, but emotionally, they don't always feel comfortable with it.
That's interesting, because technically we're building systems to reduce effort. But psychologically, we might be increasing uncertainty.
Exactly. And that's actually what today's episode is about. When interfaces become invisible, when users don't need to do anything, is that actually good UX?
Or does it quietly remove the user's sense of control?
Yeah, I've even heard users say things like, I know it's working, but I feel nervous, which is such a powerful signal for designers.
So today we're diving into handleless UX. Interfaces with fewer buttons, fewer decisions, fewer visible actions, and asking a deeper question.
How do we design trust when users are no longer actively controlling the system?
We're seeing a massive shift toward automation, predictive interfaces, AI-driven workflows, background decision-making.
And from a design perspective, minimalism has become almost a default expectation. Fewer clicks equals better UX. At least, that's the assumption.
But Lena, do you think fewer interactions always mean better experiences?
Honestly, no. Because what users actually want isn't fewer actions, it's clarity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's take automatic subscription renewals. On paper, they're frictionless. No reminders, no confirmations. Everything happens automatically.
Which sounds efficient from a systems standpoint.
Right. But if users don't understand when charges happen or how to stop the process, they feel trapped, not supported.
So the interface becomes simpler, but the emotional experience becomes heavier.
Exactly. And that's the misunderstanding around handleless UX. Removing actions doesn't remove responsibility. It just moves it into the system.
That's a great way to put it.
So our first big takeaway, handleless UX is not about removing control. It's about redesigning where control lives.
Okay, Lena, so if systems are becoming simpler, why are users sometimes feeling more anxious?
Because humans don't just want efficiency, they want reassurance. Traditional interfaces give users clear cause and effect. Press something means see a response.
But handleless UX breaks that feedback loop. Processes happen invisibly.
And when processes disappear, users start filling the gaps with assumptions.
Often negative ones.
Exactly. Think about automated driving systems. Passengers don't just ask if the car is efficient. They ask if the system understands the world like they do.
Like, does it see the pedestrian I see? Does it recognize risk?
And when the system doesn't communicate its awareness, people feel uneasy, even if it's technically safe.
That's such a key point.
Same thing with AI recommendations. If users don't know why something appears, they question competence or fairness.
So the real issue isn't complexity.
Right, it's opacity.
Users can tolerate complexity, but they struggle with invisible decision-making.
Which leads to our second key message today. Anxiety in handleless UX comes from lack of visibility, not lack of interaction.
So if invisibility causes anxiety, how do designers rebuild trust?
And this is where UX becomes less about screens and more about communication. When control disappears, trust has to increase, and we can design that intentionally.
We usually think about three core mechanisms: status visibility, explanation layers, and intervention options.
Users need to know what's happening right now, not just results, processes.
Even small signals like scanning, verifying, or analyzing dramatically reduce anxiety.
Because silence feels like failure.
Not everyone wants detailed explanations, but everyone wants access to them.
Exactly. Optional. Why did this happen? Panels increase perceived intelligence and fairness.
And honestly, they also help users learn how the system thinks.
This might be the most important one. Users need a way to step in.
Pause buttons, undo features, override options.
Even if they never use them, their existence changes the emotional experience completely.
Because users feel safe knowing they can intervene.
So, our biggest takeaway today: handleless UX only works when users feel they could regain control at any moment.
So today, we explored the emotional reality of automation. Smoother interfaces don't always mean calmer users.
We talked about how invisible processes can increase anxiety and how trust requires communication, not just simplification.
Status visibility, explanation layers, and intervention options. Those are the foundations of handleless UX.
Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used a system that felt too automatic? Did you trust it, or did it make you uncomfortable?
Leave your thoughts in the comments. We read everything, and your stories often shape our next discussions.
And in our next episode, we're going to ask a big question. Is AI reducing UX, or transforming it into something entirely new?
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.
Thanks for listening. And remember, great UX isn't invisible because it disappears, but because it builds confidence.
See you next time.